Hey cake chums, and welcome back to another video. Now I've had some feedback recently that some of you think my intros to my videos are a little bit too long, so I'm going to see what I can do about that. But please do bear in mind that we are still kind of living in isolation and this is pretty much the only talking I get to do at the moment. But anyway, I have some exciting news. When I say the phrase Easter chocolate, you probably already have some very preconceived notions about what that means. But I think there is one thing that we can absolutely all agree on, and that's when it comes to God tier chocolates, there is one type that would factor into anyone's ranking, and that is Cadbury's Mini Eggs. Now I'm pretty confident that anyone who has ever baked anything has probably done some Easter baking with Cadbury Mini Eggs before. But in some rather exciting news, Cadbury have just released their own dedicated cookbook all about baking with mini eggs. Yes, that's right. The Cadbury's Mini Eggs Cookbook is here. And even more excitingly, I've been sent one. So in today's video, we are going to be having a go at one of the recipes in the Cadbury Mini Eggs Cookbook. And make sure you stay tuned right until the end because I might be doing a little bit of a giveaway. Let's get to the video. Now I'll be honest, when I first heard that Cadbury were releasing a Mini Eggs cookbook, I was expecting it to be a little bit faddy, maybe full of some quite silly recipes, but actually, in all seriousness, this is a serious cookbook. There are recipes for all sorts of things in here, including tray bakes, cakes, sweet treats, cookies, fun snacks, desserts, and even breakfast and brunches. In fact, the book is packed with 60 recipes, which in their own words showcase the goodness of mini eggs, offering lots of tasty treats that are fun to make and even more scrummy to eat. Now Easter might be over, but I still have a ton of Cadbury's Mini Eggs. And so if nothing else, this recipe is going to stop me just sitting here and troughing my way through all of those bags. And so in today's video, we are going to be having a go at the Cadbury Mini Eggs Orange Ring Cake. As I say, I'm trying to keep these intros short and sweet, so let's get started. Okay, so as I've already mentioned, we are going to be making the Cadbury Mini Eggs Orange Ring Cake today, which is in the cakes section of the new cookbook, oddly enough. It says, the zesty flavour of this light and fluffy orange ring cake will have your taste buds tingling. Why not add some mini eggs magic in the middle too? This recipe is a very tasty but indulgent treat best enjoyed on special occasions. But it's a new video day, I don't think there is more of a special occasion than this. Now I don't actually have a traditional ring cake tin, but what I do have is the absolutely stunning Nordic Ware Heritage Bundt tin, which I actually got for Christmas. Not Christmas just gone, but the one before, and I have never used, despite wanting one forever. Now I have heard that the best way to kind of line these is to use like a lining paste. I know that Nancy Birtwistle of Bake Off fame and also Liz from the Sugar Geek Show both have recipes for those that are readily available. However, both of those recipes require vegetable shortening, which I have run out of. So instead I have used melted butter and then flour, which is what they recommend on the Nordic Ware website, and it's also very similar to what is recommended in the Cadbury Mini Eggs Cookbook as well. So hopefully this will work and our cake will come out in one piece. So that's done, I'm gonna put that to the side, and we are going to start with our cake recipe. As always, we're going to start by creaming together our softened butter and our caster sugar. So I'm doing that in the bowl of my Kenwood titanium patissiere mixer, the one that I can never remember the name of, but I have a dedicated video all about this mixer right here on my channel if you would like to check it out. I'll put a link up there. And yes, we're just going to cream these two together. Start on a fairly slow speed, and then as they start to come together, we will increase that speed to about a number 3, and we're looking for this mix to become fully combined, no lumps, no loose sugar, really nice and light and pale in colour. Essentially what we're doing here is we're trapping lots of air into that butter and sugar mixture that will hopefully give us a really nice light cake. Okay, and so after literally a minute or two, we've ended up with a mixture that looks like this. So hopefully you can see it's really nice and pale, light and fluffy, and it is ready for our next ingredient. And that is the first of 4 large eggs. So I'm going to pop one of those in, and the book actually recommends to add in a tablespoon of your flour at the same time as each egg to prevent the mixture curdling. We've talked about that on my channel here before. The only thing to be aware of is that if you add your flour a tablespoon at a time while you're adding the eggs, there is a chance you will trap less air into the mixture. So you might get slightly less of a light, well-risen cake. But if it prevents your mixture curdling, it's kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess. Just mixing that until we can see the egg is fully combined into the mixture. What we're trying to do is create an emulsion, which is when you blend a fat and a liquid together. As we all know, fats and liquids don't generally mix well, so that's why this process is really important. One way you can help this process along is by making sure all of your ingredients are at room temperature. I'm just going to scrape off that beater just to make sure we don't have any butter that isn't mixing in with the rest of our mixture. In fact, I'll give you another quick look. So hopefully you can see we've still got a nice stiff mixture. It's not kind of separating into like a liquidy, almost separated something. Then we're going to go in with our next egg. And apparently we're going to drop some shell in there too. This is why I usually recommend cracking your eggs into a separate bowl and then pouring them in. That way you don't have to fish around inside the main bowl looking for that eggshell. So once again, we're just going to mix that until that next egg is incorporated, and then we're going to keep going until all 4 eggs are inside. Once all your eggs are in, it's time to go in with our flour and our baking powder. So I'm just going to give the beater another quick scrape. And then into the bowl, we're going to sift in what's left of our self-raising flour and our baking powder. The reason why we're sifting these is because, again, it's going to allow us to get lots of air into that mixture, which will give us a nice, light, fluffy cake, hopefully. I should explain, I haven't actually had a go at this recipe before. You are seeing me trying it for the first time completely, well, not live because this is recorded, but you know what I mean. It's live for me. So just giving that a quick scaper around the sides as well. We don't need to do much because of course I am using that awesome creaming beater with the flexi sides. Pop that back on. And this time I'm not going to mix it too much, just until that flour has incorporated. If we overbeat it, I've said it a million times, but we can give ourselves quite a tough, doughy cake, and nobody wants a tough doughy cake. So I'm going to start this on a minimum speed, and I'm literally just mixing until that flour is in. It will take seconds. In fact, there we go, that's it. If I show you what that looks like, you can see, other than the bit that's caught on the beater there, that flour has pretty much incorporated. So, one more final scrape for the beater. And at this stage, we're also going to add in the orange zest and some freshly squeezed orange juice as well. Once again, starting on a slow speed, and again, I'm just going to mix it in until all those ingredients are fully incorporated together. Okay, so now all that liquid going in at the end has given me quite a wet dough. So the recipe does say that if the dough seems too thick, you can add an additional splash of liquid to thin it down, but I don't think that's going to be an issue here at all. And then this is going to get transferred into our ring tin, or in my case, my bundt tin. Now some of you might think it's fairly foolish of me to try a brand new cake recipe in a brand new cake tin or a video. And to that I would say, you're probably not wrong. Isn't that half the fun of my videos? The will it or won't it work thrill. And then I'm just going to level this off. And then we're just going to drop it on the worktop a couple of times just to make sure there's no trapped air at the bottom that will ruin the finish of that gorgeous bunt tin. So this needs to go into the preheated oven, and hopefully next time I see you guys, we will have a beautifully baked orange bunt cake. So I'm going to do one of my silly little transition edits, and I'll see you in a sec. And there we go. That was literally exactly 45 minutes. I put it in for 40 and I checked it and needed a few more seconds or minutes. So 45 minutes seemed pretty much dead on. Now we need to leave this to cool in the tin for about 10 to 15 minutes before we turn it out. That's what it says in the recipe book, but also if you baked with a bunt tin before, you know that you need to do that to allow it to kind of stiffen up slightly so that when you turn it out, it doesn't just collapse. So we're gonna wait another 15 minutes and then we will turn this out and we'll move on with the next step of the recipe. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so it is time for the bit that I am most nervous about from this whole bake, and that is turning out this bunt from the tin that we've never used before, using a recipe that we've never used before, and hoping that it will stay in one piece. So we have a cooling rack, which we're going to place on top. And we're going to flip it over. There was a very reassuring flump noise. And here we go. It worked. Can I just say for the record, I know this video isn't about these tins, but I've only ever heard amazing things about Nordic ware bunt tins, and can we just take a moment to appreciate how amazing that looks? We're now going to leave this to cool down absolutely entirely before we carry on with the next stage of the recipe. So I guess I'm just going to leave this here and go and do something else for a bit. So yeah. Okay, so some more time has passed. I'm not entirely sure how much, but the cake is cooler. It's not perfectly cool, but I'm really impatient and I kind of want to carry on. So we are just going to carry on. And the next step, according to the recipe in the Cadbury Mini Eggs Cookbook, is to make an orange glaze. So I have got some icing sugar in this bowl. And as per the instructions, I'm going to use a whisk attachment on the mixer. And then I have got some fresh orange juice that I squeezed from an orange. And I'm going to put about a tablespoon in. And we're just going to whisk this together. I've got a bit more here, you can see, in case it needs to be thinned down. But we're going to start with this and see how it goes, because we can always add more, we can't take liquid away. I think we're going to need some more. Yeah, I think we're going to need even more than that. Okay, I'm going to put some water in just to thin it down because it's still looking very, very thick. Now I don't want to take it too far the other way because what will happen is it will still run. It's almost a bit like one of those non-Newtonian fluids that you might remember doing at school, the ones that are a bit runny but not. So I'm going to stop there. We've definitely got some flowiness to it now, which we didn't have before. So I think all in we had about a tablespoon of water and the 2 tablespoons of orange juice, possibly. It's definitely more yellow than the book. The book is white, so I wonder if they just use water rather than orange juice. Anyway, I'm going to transfer this into a piping bag and we're going to pipe it onto the top of this. Now again, if we look at the picture in the book, there it is. Hopefully you can see that. That's definitely white, and you can see it's kind of just quite haphazardly placed on and allowed to run down the side. But because I am using the Nordic Ware Heritage Bunt tin, we've got these lovely ridges, and I've seen people before put kind of their glaze or their icing into those ridges, and it looks quite cool. So we're going to give that a go. funny story, I once did that and the bag broke and it went everywhere. Just gonna cut the top off, and we are going to squeeze some of this into each of these grooves. It would do. Okay, so the next thing, the final thing it says to do is to take 30 grams of Cadbury's mini eggs and crush them in a sandwich bag. Now, I have really bad sandwich bags. They are really weak and they probably won't survive that. So I'm going to use another piping bag just because I have them. 30 grams is just under half a bag. I'm gonna pop those in there. And then using a rolling pin, I'm just going to give them a quick bash. How are we looking? It's got a bit more drippage happening, but I feel like we're getting somewhere. I also feel like I made quite a mess of that piping, but never mind. Okay, so we're going to transfer this to a cake stand. And then last but not least, we are going to sprinkle our crushed up mini eggs on the top. So we've got some little dainty bits. And then we've got some slightly chunkier bits. Are they going to stick to that glaze? That's the million-dollar question. And then what I also really love about the serving suggestion is they say about putting mini eggs in the centre to serve with it as well. And let's be honest, can you ever have too many mini eggs? So they suggest 16, but I'm just gonna fill up the whole. So there you go guys, that was my attempt at having a crack at one of the brand new recipes in the Cadbury Mini Eggs Cookbook. Now, if this has inspired you to want to get baking with mini eggs, then I have some really rather exciting news. I'm super excited to announce that I have got 10 copies of the Cadbury Mini Eggs Cookbook to give away to 10 of you guys at home, and not only that, but Kenwood are also going to give one of you a Kenwood Chefette mixer. Now, if you're not familiar with the Chefette, I'm going to pop a picture of it up on the screen right now. And what's fantastic about this mixer, it's so versatile, you can use it as both a hand whisk, but also as a freestanding mixer as well. So just to be really clear, one of you will walk away with the Kenwood Chefette mixer and a copy of the book, and 9 more of you will be able to get your hands on the book. If you would like to be one of the lucky winners, all you need to do is make sure you are subscribed to my channel right here on YouTube, and make sure you are following me on Instagram, because those are the 2 places that I am going to announce the winners. Once you've done that, why not pop a comment down below and let me know if you'll be having a go at this mini eggs orange ring cake, or whether there is another recipe in the book that has caught your eye. Now, of course, if you do miss out on this giveaway, don't panic. The book is available from all major book retailers, so you can pick it up on Amazon or in your favourite bookshop, and it is only £9.99, which I think for 60 recipes is a bit of a steal. Now, just before you go, I do think we need to have a little taste of this cake as well. It's all well and good putting the recipe to the test, but we need to know how it tastes. Okay, so here guys. Wow. Now that is one moist cake. Yum! Oh, so you deserve a mini egg. Okay, wow. Can I also just say as well, the mini egg with the cake together totally works. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be making this again. But anyway, that was me having a go at a recipe from the Cadbury Mini Eggs Cookbook, which has just been released and is available from all major book retailers. And I just want to say another massive thank you to Cadbury for sending this my way, to Kenwood for partnering up with me on the giveaway, and of course to all of you guys for watching another one of my videos. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, not only because you'll enter my competition, but also because I upload a new weekly video within the realm of baking and cake decorating every single Sunday. And if you are already subscribed, don't forget you can also ring that bell icon to make sure you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Last but not least, if you haven't already, please do give this video a like, because it will tell YouTube to show it to more people. Thanks of course to you guys for watching. I'll see you at the same time next week for another video. Until then, stay safe, take care, and happy caking. Bye guys!